This is a meeting of the Douglas Cemetery Commission. I am Betsy Youngsma, Chair, and Sarah Geeman, my secretary, and the treasurer, Leo Lyons. Is it Lee or Leo?
It's Leo, but I prefer Lee.
But you prefer Lee. I'll try and remember that.
Okay.
And we have a quorum.
Yes.
Treasurer's report.
Okay. We currently have $8,410 in our account.
Great.
And there'll probably be just one more mowing, I would imagine. The water's been turned off. And then I have, do you want me to mention this now or down the? at
Yeah,
one?
you
Is it
can,
money?
Yeah.
Okay.
if it's money related, sure.
To give Betsy, these are the two accounts that we have that we can do stone repair from and things that we discussed before. Cemetery perpetual care, and the other one is money that goes into an account from the sale of lots.
Okay. So
Okay.
this is from the sale of lot.
That's the 17,19596. And then the perpetual care
It's
is,
also from the sale of lots, because they pay that.
Yeah.
And they pay the lots.
it's currently at
Because they
$46,093.
sold 2 lots.
Wow.
$46,093.93 because it hasn't been used in ages.
Well,
So that's where we could, that 46 is where we would pull money from to get the stones fixed and
and you want to
repaired.
use it all for the stones?
No, it doesn't have to all be used for
Okay.
the stones. But what I was proposing from Monty was, what was it, 11,000, I think, would come out of that for what the center cemetery needs. I mean, and then we could use more from there for the other cemeteries, or for tree planting, or for
Right.
repairing the railing that's around that family plot.
Let's see.
Secretary's report.
Okay, so we did get a letter from Dan Dudley, who has a plot in Douglas Center, requesting that we cut down or remove 2 hedges that are blocking his plot that belong to a neighboring plot, the Leckbergs. So he did send us a letter with a photo showing the 2 trees, and I think those actually were the trees I went to trim, I want to say last year, and they are very, very large. So I don't know how we would want to
know if
go
that's the
about
same
dealing with
one.
that. I think it was Leckberg, yeah, because I remember,
The name.
yeah. And we trimmed them a little bit, but, they are quite tall, so,
They are quite big.
yeah.
And the fact that they're growing onto somebody else's plot is, and he's, so.
Right. So do we know who is the plot owner of the Leckberg plot?
I don't,
Okay. I wonder how we can find that out. So
they never had any children, I know that.
they didn't. Okay. Let me just make a note to myself.
And I can't remember how long they've been dead, but it's been some years.
But if they infringe on another plot, we have the right to remove it.
Correct.
Right. I would think so.
I mean, I was just thinking in my own mind that we take some of that perpetual care money, 'cause that's what people pay
Right.
for when they buy those.
Right.
And just have those removed.
Yeah.
And maybe have, if they are the same ones, just have them removed. But if that's, the other lady was telling her that she couldn't cut them down anymore because she was too old. And we had a volunteer go in and trim them, but they never, you cut some, my
Yeah.
husband cut some.
Right. I think that was the Leckberg, I'm pretty sure, because I remember going there and looking for it, and then I saw the big, huge, shrubs, and I said, oh, that's the
You
one.
think it was that one?
I think it was,
All
yeah.
right.
So if there was
maybe we
somebody,
should just contact someone and have them removed. And maybe clean up whatever the town didn't do down in Pine
Right.
Grove.
yeah,
Yep.
I don't know if A and B does any of that work, or
right,
try to
that
find
I'm
somebody
not
else.
sure. I'm sure like someone, like a tree person would, like maybe FOPMA or somebody else, if A and B, I don't know if A and B mowing does trees, but I guess someone could,
Well, we could ask the highway,
Reach out.
because, who they would use.
yeah, right,
Who they would recommend, because, what's his name is actually the tree warden, right?
right. Yeah, you
They
could ask him.
the cemetery used to use Dan Briscoe. I can't remember what his, he's in Douglas though.
Oh,
But yeah, well, let's look into that,
right,
because I do think that's part of
yeah.
the perpetual care.
Right.
People pay for that when
Sure.
they buy a plot.
Do you happen to remember who was the person that was taking care of it that said they couldn't anymore? Because I wonder if we should contact
We'll
them
look
and let
back
them
in our
know.
notes, because I'm
Yeah.
sure it's in our notes somewhere.
Okay,
Plus, we still have 8,400 in the,
In the account.
yeah, depending on how much it would cost.
I don't know. I've never had, I mean, they're not like big trees. They're
No.
just,
right. I would imagine it would probably be like a couple hundred per tree. That would just be my guess,
Yeah,
just
that's-
from.
And then double it, because every time you say, oh, I
Right,
think it's a
yeah,
couple hundred, it's 400.
Right. That's very true, yeah. I mean, I had like huge, huge trees taken out and it cost me like $4,000. It was a
Dollars.
lot, yeah.
It was a
But the-
lot of
But they
money.
were, I mean, they were like 200-year-old white pines that were
Yeah.
massive and towering over my house and ready to take it out. But, so hopefully this will be less than that, obviously.
these aren't that
You know,
tall.
It would probably be like, I'm going to guess maybe, I would say
You know, and
1,000 or
took 'em
less,
out, Clean
hopefully.
it up so that it looks,
Yeah, right.
looks nice.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they are kind, and even like, they're even almost encroaching on the stone they're planted around besides
Right.
plots around them.
yeah.
Right.
They really just kind of are too large for the area.
I do remember the lady that called me also told me that somebody took them out, she wouldn't care.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know, because,
So,
obviously,
know.
if it's causing a problem to someone else, it's time for them to come out.
Yep.
yeah, because he said he used to trim, he's getting old too, but he would like, they're
Right.
too big for him to manage.
Right, right.
So,
Yep. It
So I
seems
think
like
we
it will
should
be a
have that.
constant maintenance problem otherwise, so probably taking them out is the better option.
okay, well.
But I don't know, we'd probably have to cut them down and leave the stumps, like just cut them ground level, whoever does
I
it.
think actually somebody could pull those out, I would think. Oh, you have to be careful of the stone. They'll
Yeah, that's
pull
what I
out.
was thinking. I don't know if you want to, yeah, right. Might create a problem for the plot that it's in, so maybe just cutting it low to the ground and leaving the roots, because who knows like how far into the plots the roots go. They're pretty
Yeah, I don't
big.
know.
If they've been there 50 years or so, they're probably got a decent sized root system. I would say it's probably as big as what you see above the ground at least.
Well, why don't we take the next, what is it, couple of weeks before we have our next meeting and just call and see if we can get somebody, get some estimates and have them
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they might know approximately how deep the roots
Roots
go,
are,
just by looking at it,
right.
if it can be pulled.
Personally, I think I'd rather it just be cut because I wouldn't want to disturb the plots,
Yeah.
by pulling the roots
I
out.
don't want somebody tripping over the stumps though either.
Maybe,
And so,
Yeah.
lawnmower having to go over the
oh,
stumps.
right,
So, I don't know if I like that idea either.
yeah. I wonder if you could just stump them and then like
They do something, they grind them or
Yeah,
something. Somebody has a
right.
grinder that
They can grind them, or they can put a poison
chemical
in there
down in there and it
Right.
kills
that
it.
rots the root.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we should talk to somebody before we
yeah.
figure it out.
I could call Fabima. They were pretty good when I asked them to come to Pine Grove to take a
Okay.
look. You know, they were very accommodating, so
Yep,
I could give them a call and ask,
yep.
just for a quote. And now, when we spend that money, do we need to, we don't need
They
approval
have
other
to
than
have an
us voting?
account with the town, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
What's
Because
that?
she has to be able to pay it out of them. So they have to file.
So like whoever we hire
Yep.
would have to, okay. I didn't, but there's no like thing where we have to get 3 quotes because it's under, I think the limit's like.
It's under a certain amount.
10,000 or something. It won't
Yep.
be anywhere close to that. It'll,
But they have to have an account with the town, I know
Okay.
that. They have to have like their tax ID number, they have to have
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
okay. Yeah, I can
So-
give them a call because they were very responsive and
Yeah,
came out and talked to me when I had a
that's why I thought
question.
about that Dan Briscoe that does trees. He used to do them for Shirley Cooney.
Oh, yeah.
He has an account with the town.
Oh, okay. I can see if I can find him too, I'm not sure.
I can't remember the name of it. It was Tree something.
All right, yeah, I'll Google and see what I get. See if I can get a
Yeah,
few
maybe
people to
we
look
could
at
have
it.
them look at the trees up at Pine Grove too.
Oh, those little plum trees are dying, the ones that are in Pine Grove, because when I met the arborist out there, he, just as we were walking out, he
said
noticed
they
it,
did.
and he mentioned it to me, that they have like a black fungus disease, and they're basically like not gonna make
Recover
it.
from
They're,
it.
yeah, he said like they split in winter when it gets too cold, and then the fungus gets inside the trunk and the tree basically dies, so those eventually probably will have
You
to
want to
come
have
out.
them look at those too?
We could, because when he was out there with me, he said they would need to come down, and,
Because they're
you
not
know,
very big.
I'm sure it
either.
wouldn't be
No.
too much. They're fairly small little trees, but I think we've got like 2 or 3 of them. And we'd probably want to go with some, he said they really weren't like a hardy, like they're not native to this area, so they weren't a hardy variety, and that's why they're kind of too sensitive for the
planted
winter.
them?
I think it was, I'm not sure, like the company that put it in, it was around 2016 that they went in.
Okay.
So they haven't been in very long. But I don't know who, I don't think I was on the board yet, and I don't know who was. Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember them being
Yeah,
put in either.
right? Yeah, I remember it was about 2000, I want to say 2016.
There's one in Douglas Center in that row too. The Boy Scouts put those in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
and one of them is dead too.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mentioned that before.
our harsh winters, right?
Yep.
Harsh winters strike again,
Well, you don't know what's in the ground either.
right?
Road rash.
Right?
That's what my husband calls it, when the trees along the edge of the road die. 'cause of all
Oh,
the
yeah,
salting
right,
and
right. Yep,
Whatever other stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, we should have them look at that one too if we're gonna have
Yeah, right.
these cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought about the poison ivy too, because there's a good crop of it down on the stone wall.
Oh, really?
in
Boy,
Douglas
it's
Center.
all over town. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, yeah, the edges of Pine Grove all along the street have the poison ivy
Poison
too.
ivy,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
climate change.
Yep.
Poison ivy loves climate change.
right? It's
very
very
well.
unfortunate for us. Quite unfortunate. We need some goats. Can we
Yeah.
use that money for a goat? We need a cemetery goat. We'll just take it around and eat all the poison ivy.
I don't know if they'll eat it too close to the road though.
Yeah, that's true. They might not, maybe too salty.
Too salt.
All right, let's see, what else? So
Pine
that-
Grove
that's
tree
all I
removal
have.
plans. Did we
So,
cover that, or do we still have
Post-tree
those
removal plans.
stumps?
So did anybody go down and take a look?
My husband did.
What did he
He
think?
said there was a mess.
I felt like it was left a little messy as well, because
Yep.
they left slices and
Yep.
there's a lot of stuff on the neighboring property that's kind of sliding into the
They never came
cemetery.
back and picked it up?
They really didn't do as good of a cleanup job as I would have liked.
Nope. I think we should
But
probably, or write
unfortunately.
them a letter.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a different company that did it, because the one that we had talked about and the one that I had spoken to, you know,
They
was,
didn't use-
he was aware that we wanted that cleaned up, and this other company that ended up doing it was Champion Tree, and I didn't have their contact info. I think I have their phone number, because I did have Adam Furno go down there the day they were doing the work, because I had gone by in the morning and I wasn't happy with how it looked.
Yeah.
And he said he did talk to them, and they said they were going to clean it up, and it's still a little more messy than I would have liked.
Yeah.
So I can try to reach out to them and see
And-
if I can.
With that pile of the old pine trees, that...
Yeah, it's still there as far as I know. It was
You know
the
what?
last time I was in
Whoever's
there.
doing all this other, we'll just have them.
Just have them take
pick it
that
up.
brush away, right?
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, so I don't know, like, yeah, okay, I'm going to make a note to myself, call
We should make a
Champion.
list of the little jobs that need to
Right.
be done. And then we can call people to have come look at the list. I mean, we can just make up a list and
Right,
compile it and send it around to our
that sounds like a good idea.
emails.
Yeah, a list of all the little jobs,
A list of all the little jobs.
right. And I don't know how responsive the Champion Tree people will be. I haven't had any
Nope. Never
contact
even
with
heard of
them, never heard from them. Didn't even know they were the ones doing it, because I assumed it was the person I had spoken to who understood exactly
Right.
what we expected, you know, as far as cleanup and all that. So I guess we'll keep that on the agenda, and we'll
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
follow
keep that
up
on
on that. Greater Worcester funds discussion, so I didn't know, did we hear if we got that check from them yet?
Nope, You
supposed
would,
to be
you would have
September.
heard.
Yeah.
Because it would go to her office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we did, because I had to go in there and sign everything for the previous year. And that,
No, nothing was in there yet.
no.
Okay, and we're almost at the end of September, so,
Before you go home, run in and ask her if
Yeah.
she's heard anything.
yeah, and then if she hasn't, maybe one of us can follow up with,
Well, it's still the end of the September.
yeah, right. We can wait until October to follow up, I guess,
Yeah.
if we haven't gotten it by September 30th.
How much was that? Do you remember?
It was around 2,000,
2,200 or something.
yeah,
Okay.
it was like 2,000 and
Yeah.
change. And then I know we had to have like an account made for it and all that, so,
Yes,
yeah, so we'll keep that on there and we'll follow up.
yep.
Okay, and that brings us to updates on plot enclosure repair, which I do have an update. So I found a blacksmith. The name of his business is Eternity Ironworks. He's out of Worcester. He used to work at the, they had that artist group called The Workshop in Worcester, so he used to work there at the blacksmith. So I had him meet me down in the cemetery last Friday to look at the enclosure, and you know, he said he would write up a quote with a couple of different options of what we could do. He said what's there is raw iron. He said the gate was definitely repairable. He actually found the second hinge. It's
That's
hanging
great.
by one hinge. The second hinge is actually still there. So he was like, oh, it's not bad, but the thing was the granite is no longer holding the hinge because the granite is letting go.
Because it
So-
turns to salt.
yeah, so he said, you know, at the very least, we'd need to replace at least, I want to say, 3 or 4 of those granite posts, or we would have to cement them with hydraulic cement, he said, or something to keep them together, because they're kind of just breaking up. And he said it was kind of the iron is working against it, because that's, you know, reacting with the stone, and it's causing them to split. So, you know, he said he was going to write up a quote for me. I haven't received it yet.
All right, yeah, that's
But
fine.
I'll keep that on the agenda. And he said, you know, obviously, we could do like a restoration, or we could replace parts of it. He said that those round, poles that go between the granite posts, you could replace with steel. Right now, they're wrought iron, and I was like, I don't know how we'd feel about replacing it with a different material. I mean, it might look the same, but it wouldn't be original. So he also said the original ones that we have that are bent, he could
Fixed.
Right.
fix. He could also do that. That was another option, to straighten out. I mean, some of them were bent like a pretzel. Like, I don't know if, they were in the ground, and I kind of picked them up and put them in the crypt. So that's where they are right now. But I did have him take a look at those too. And he said it was definitely something he could do,
Okay.
with the blacksmithing. He could just rebend them.
Very
He
good.
said they were pretty, they were still in good shape. They're rusty, obviously, but, he said that he'd
But
give us
then
a
we
couple
could paint,
options.
we could paint after.
Yeah, right. Yep. So he said he would actually even look for someone that does the granite for me. So he's going to try to do a little investigation into that and come up with a couple of options for us for what we could
Oh, that's
do.
great.
Yeah,
Good job.
thanks. So I will keep you updated on that one. We'll just keep that on the agenda. Anyone have any
Updates on the sheds?
updates on sheds?
No.
Anyone
Last time
look
I talked to
around?
Lisa Freeman, she said she was going to talk to Adam Furno, but I
Oh,
haven't heard
okay.
anything.
All right, so we'll keep that on our radar, I guess. Maybe some places will have end of the year shed sales, I was thinking, because, I know a lot of those places, they want to clearance them because they don't want to put them all away for the winter.
Right.
Yeah, is there a cement form under that funny
I
house?
think
I think there is, isn't there?
Under what?
under the screen
The
house,
screen house,
there, yeah, I think the floor
Oh,
in there
yeah.
is concrete.
Yeah.
there's a
Yep.
concrete floor. Because I thought, if I had my husband go down and measure that, I wonder if they put a shed on
Yeah,
top of
right.
that.
Yeah, maybe they could. I mean, that would be
I mean,
ideal because it's
Maybe we
already,
could all take down the screen house.
right,
Don't,
yeah. Right. I know there was definitely some animal activity in this greenhouse the last time I was there.
as long as
I
it's
won't
not
say
bigger
how
than-
I know, but,
bigger than a skunk.
right.
I mean, I don't want bears in there.
No, right. I want to say it was probably squirrels, but,
Oh, well,
it really was, the air quality in there was not the greatest, let's just say
Oh, I
that.
believe that.
So, but, I mean, that would be an ideal site to put a shed because it's right
That's
next
what
to
I'm
the
thinking.
cemetery and it's already kind of got a little pad, that we
Yeah.
could drop a shed on and it's accessible through that little driveway, so,
Maybe we
I
could
don't know
have a
what
little
the-
meeting with Adam.
yeah. That would be a good thing
Should
to
all go down and
discuss.
look at it to see if there's how much, if there really is a cement, what
Yeah.
condition it is.
I think it
what
is
size
cement.
it is.
I'm
I
not
think
sure
it is
what
too.
size, but yeah, when I was in there doing that little inventory I did on those headstones, it's definitely concrete or
But would
cement.
they allow us to just put it? shed there?
Who would we ask about
Adam
that?
Furno.
Just ask Adam? Okay.
That's what Lisa
Because I mean,
Freeman told me.
I think that's a great idea because that's almost like a ready
Yeah.
Ready-made
area where you
form.
could just, right?
Yep.
Could just have a shed brought in
I
and,
mean, if Adam says, sure, go ahead, then we can ask a shed company to come down and take
Right.
a look at it too.
Yeah,
Put
right.
something on it.
and like skip sheds on 146, they have like a whole bunch of different,
But we might have to wait until they tear the
Models.
house down.
yeah,
That's what she
maybe,
said.
right?
Because
It might
it
be
might
too
ruin
close.
the new shed.
Yeah, right, that's true, you never know.
So, but Adam would know.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Adam would know.
And
Because we
and we don't know the
definitely-
time frame on when the,
No, I mean, it could be
Right.
now or it could be 50 years from here.
Yeah.
I know.
And we definitely need a plan, for our headstones, because if they're going to tear down that screen house, we're going to have to put them somewhere temporarily, unless we can tear down the screen house, put a shed up and put them in the shed, in one fell swoop. But, yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know if, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. That sounds
I
like the
think
best
that would be a
idea.
good idea, because then you could keep all your stuff in it.
Yeah, and all the supplies that are in the crypt.
Yep.
Because I did notice the crypt is like moldy.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to go down there too much, I don't want to catch anything.
It wasn't meant for storage.
Yeah, right. So probably not the best place to store things unless we want them to get mold.
Unless you want to get some plastic sealing things.
Yeah, I
in
don't
there
know.
and then put, well, Let's see
Right.
how we get, if we can get a shed in by.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, even a shed out of, I mean, could we get a shed out of the perpetual care, or, I mean, it is kind of,
I don't know.
something-
'Cause
yeah,
I
I
have no
don't know.
idea what a shed would cost.
it's like we would need it to, you know, for our stuff that we use for maintenance and for those headstones.
Should also ask Adam, like, where would, because that would probably be more than, we'd have to get quotes on it, I would think.
Yeah. Right. I
Because there must
mean,
be a delivery fee.
we have a guest. Hello.
Oh, it's my husband.
I know if you're still in the middle of the meeting.
We are,
We are.
talking about the sheds.
Come on in, have a
You can
seat.
sit down.
All right.
Have a seat. We're almost through our discussion. So,
This is my husband. This is
Hi.
Lee Lyons, and this is Sarah Geeman.
hello.
Hey.
Welcome to our meeting.
We were talking about the shed. We want to put a shed down on where the Duhamel's
Okay,
old
that's good.
The screen house.
greenhouse was.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to figure out if there's a cement platform down there
There might be a pad underneath the roof.
and what it measures.
I'm not sure.
So sometime this weekend, we'll measure it up.
Well, I better do it today, otherwise I'll forget.
I know. Me too. Goes right out the window.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Discussion with Lou Monte.
Yeah, again, he couldn't make it today, but with Pine Grove, was there anything that was seriously needed repaired down there?
Well, there's things that are already broken, like headstones that are already broken. There's one whole plot where they're like all in a row broken. And then there's a few that are just down on the ground. There's two that are leaning and ready to go. They're like at an angle literally like this. One of them's already down, and then the next two in the row. And I don't know what under the ground is causing them to come forward, but, so there is some issues in Pine Grove, you know, as far as that go. I don't know if there's anything super pressing as far as that. I mean, they've been leaning that way as long as I've lived here, so one of them actually has fallen within the last, like, probably 15 years. Other
I
than
have a
that,
thought. I mean, if we took, what did you say, it was around 8,000? You had a play,
Yeah, between 8 and,
8 and 10 or so?
yeah.
If we took an amount, like say 9,000 or 12,000, divided it between the 3 cemeteries, and then picked what is most important in each cemetery,
Right.
and devote like 3,000
Yeah.
to this one, 3,000 to this one,
Right.
3,000 to this one. to
Yeah.
repairs.
I think that would be the most fair.
Would that be fair?
Yeah,
But
Right.
there's more things wrong with Center than, there's more stones down in Center than, and pressing
Well,
items.
there's more stones in general anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, you know,
and we have that big one that's, you know.
yeah, that big
That
one,
has to
that's
be-
definitely a
Okay.
concern, I would say. That
Can
would
you
be
give us a
like,
quote for just the big one?
Just the big one, okay.
just the big one in Douglas Center.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to do something in each of the cemeteries.
I would
just to
too.
be,
I think
you
it's
know,
that fair.
even though-
What I'll
Douglas
try to
Center is
do
biggest,
Have him come back, and if he's willing to at no cost, like he did with Center,
Mm-hmm.
and look at the other two
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, say what it would cost and what's pressing.
right. And if he wants to go to Pine Grove, like, I know that one pretty well. I did the marker survey for that one, so.
Okay.
Happy to meet him down there if he wants to go down there. There's a couple I can think of that are, you know, leaning, and there's one that's a zinc monument, and it's like raising up on one side. I don't know what's under it that's shifting in the ground, but
Tree roots.
yeah, it could be. So I'm happy to meet him there if he wants.
Okay. So I will talk to him again and see when we can get him down here.
Any other old business?
I have nothing.
Any new business?
Have nothing either.
No.
Nothing new from me.
Does anybody have any thoughts on Sarah's minutes?
They were a little rushed, I admit. I think I did see a couple of typos where I put
Yeah.
a word twice or I did something like that, but,
They're fine.
okay. I was a little tired when I wrote them, but,
So we will accept the minutes as written?
Yes.
okay, is that a motion? I'll second
Yes.
that. Okay, motion made by Lee, seconded by me.
Yep.
All in favor?
All right.
Any other topics anybody wants to bring up?
I have nothing.
Nope, I think we covered everything.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Next meeting?
Oh, whoops, yeah, next meeting. Do we want to plan one for
How about 1 and 2 weeks?
2 weeks? Sure.
Maybe hopefully
What's,
we can get
what's the date?
some of these quotes in and some of these things done.
Well,
Right,
it's starting to get cold, right, so.
it is, so we better squeeze one in while we can, right? If we wait another month, we might be out of luck. So 2 weeks from now, what would be the date?
Require me to have a calendar.
Oh, I would look at my phone, but I plugged it in because it's low, but it's low to no battery.
Should be a calendar on the wall.
Right,
Too old-fashioned, have a
Yeah.
calendar on the wall.
Love calendars, especially if they got an old car on them.
right.
So 2 weeks from today would be the 11th.
October 11th.
Yep, I don't have anything.
Is it a Friday?
Yep.
Oh, I actually, let's see.
Isn't that Columbus weekend?
It is.
Not that
Yep,
I'm
it
doing
is.
anything. but
Me either.
But, yeah.
When you're retired,
it is.
days are all the same.
Yeah.
October 11th. You know, as far as I know, I'm around. I was maybe going away, but not until right after that. So that's fine. I can do October 11th. Do you want to say 11 a.m. again? Does that work? Is that a good time or?
Yep.
11 a.m.? Okay. We will book for October 11th, 11 a.m.
Great.
And I'll keep everything the same on the agenda, and if anyone has anything to add, just send me a message and I will add it
Okay.
in. All right. And, okay, so I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Everyone is in favor of adjournment?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. We're adjourned.
Okay.
What time is it? 11:38.
38.